everyone, and welcome back to the Rep Talk podcast. In this episode, we will be talking about our fantasy basketball league, a little switch up from the gym. But this is our fantasy basketball league. This is what our first episode was about. And we're going to be looking back on that podcast, talking about our preseason rankings, post draft rankings, week one rankings, and now the playoffs, which now we're in playoff time. But yeah, we are joined by my co host, Dan Ambrosio, the Bronx Bombers in this league.
What's
And
up?
we're both playoff teams, and we're about to just give you the rundown of the season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Firstly, let's just start off by analyzing our preseason rankings. And as I just pull it up, as I pull this up, there's a lot of fallacies in this, and quite personally, like the rankings weren't that good, really. Like
I
we
think they
we
were fine
kind
for the
of
time. For the time, they were fine.
for the time they were fine, but let's just say first off, number one is Southbury XI. They are the number eight seed in the playoffs. They're 8-9-1. Yeah, an under 500 team made it in our league, even though there's eight playoff seeds.
16-man league, tough teams.
Tough teams, yeah. Two Butt Pirates, which isn't really the worst.
It's not bad. They
I
end up
won't lie.
fourth. They end up
They ended
fourth.
up fourth, so it's kind of close.
I,
LDS, the
I,
Bronze, Dog Poopy. He's number three, which
ended up number
comes
one.
with no
So,
surprise.
yep,
I mean,
ended
now
up the
he's
number
number
one
one.
seed.
Two Bronx Bombers, four, which he ended up with the seven seed, which, yeah, it's three off. Spencer's super team, which is now known as the Scotties Hotties,
They're a six
are
seed.
number six, and it's also 5-6. That's pretty good. But I know ball at number six. This
Okay. Oh,
guy won
okay.
the
Okay.
One Chip Challenge championship.
Okay. Yes, he was last place, but look at his roster. Look at his roster starting off. There's no way you could tell me that wasn't a good roster.
Yeah, but it's
He had
I know ball.
Anthony Davis, LaMelo Ball, Jaylen Brown. That's like that big three is already crazy. That was probably the best big three we had going into it. Of like 1 to 3, easily on any team.
Then Finland Finnegans at number seven. What were we thinking here?
Okay, your team now, you don't have a single player that you started off the year with. So 7 was actually like a good spot. You just traded yourself into the second seed
Well, I
or third
started
seed
out
now.
undefeated technically with that whole team
Okay.
because technically speaking, I lost to Amir when I did all this trade. So that original team was undefeated. I went 16-2 this season, by the
All right.
way. Tied
Your
for the best
entire
record in the league.
your entire team from start to now, there was not a single player on your team that you drafted. Every single player was traded for. You got rid of all of your drafted players.
Yeah, and I also almost traded away the traded players besides Shea, Giddy, and Russ for my
Okay,
second
yeah. You
version
almost
two team.
those are your three longest tenured players, and all of them you traded for in like November.
Okay, but let's go on. Kevin's top-notch team, which got lucky. He honestly should have done the one chip challenge. He had the least amount of points by far,
Worst team in our
but
league history.
probably worst team in our league history. Like there's no other team that really comes close. But
He
he
just got
did beat
lucky
I
with
Know Ball,
he got lucky
and
with
I Know
strength of
Ball
schedule.
won the one chip challenge championship, and we'll be happy to be taking the one chip challenge.
He will be.
Honestly, when I'm there,
Yeah, when you're
get
there
some
in a couple weeks from
spectators.
now. Yeah, we'll get some
A couple weeks
spectators. I
from
think
now.
I might be doing it with them because I kind of wanted to do it for
Oh,
YouTube
you don't, you
video.
really want to do it though?
I want to do it for like a little YouTube video. Or I guess TikTok now.
Yeah,
I started my TikTok career. Follow me on TikTok. Dan with a bunch of sevens at the end. Little plug.
nice. All right, number nine, Kenneth's top-notch team. That actually is the only ranking we have correct right now because that's number nine, and he's number nine in the playoffs. Even though I think
Mm-hmm.
Ladonis is better than him, I
Yeah.
do think though that Kenneth's top-notch team that was a pretty good
Wait,
ranking, and
Kenneth?
also in the
Kevin or
playoffs
Kenneth?
he beat Kenneth.
That's Mayo made him. Mayo made him.
Yo, now Mayo made him, but
Yeah.
Kenneth, I do think that was a good ranking because it's literally what he is right now. He beat
Yeah.
Ladonis, even though I think Ladonis is better. He did beat him.
He had a pretty good
So,
team. It wasn't amazing, but it was middle of the pack.
yep, Oscar's otherworldly team, which is now Harrowball. Yeah, he's the third worst team in the league, and
Okay, I will say though, he did get really unlucky. He's got more points scored than Mayo, and he's 9.
yeah, that's true. He had a very tough schedule. I mean, he had to play the Finland Finnegans twice.
Yeah, Finland Fingers twice. He had to play all the best Eastern teams to start the year, so he started off 0-7 because he played all the best teams in the East. He got unlucky
Well,
against I Know Ball. He ended up losing to I Know Ball.
I know that was, and if he lost, he would have been taking the one chip
Yeah,
challenge though. He
yeah. It
lost
came
to
down to last week.
Kevin's top-notch team. Yeah.
Came down to last week.
Then next, the worst ranking of them all, Abdel Nader Fan Club at 11.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my hand up. That one's on me. That one's on me. We didn't see the vision. Ended up working out for him. So props to that. Props to the man, Brendan Troy. Shout out. Currently facing the Bronx Bombers round one.
And currently, Bronx Bombers has a slight lead, but there's going to be a whole
It'll be a
roster
dogfight.
for Abdel Nader Fan Club playing tonight, but it's going to be a close one. But
It's gonna be a
Creighton
dogfight.
Pritchard did score 81.
Yep.
All right, then James second place at 12. I mean, yeah, I might, yeah,
That's
I'd rank
fair.
him there.
He,
I'd
he
rank
finished
him
6 and
there.
10. He finished 6 and 10. 12th seed.
Yeah,
12. Yeah,
he
12th
did go
ranked is
on
good.
like he beat Southbury and Bronx Bombers.
Yeah, those are both fluke wins back when both teams were hurt the entire time. And also that was back when he was updating his lineups and just decided to actually like stop playing. That
Yeah, Ladonis Creed Freak Show at 13, which is kind of. I
was
mean, his
valid.
team right now is like pretty good, but
He traded for
he
that
just
team.
he traded for the team. His team was just so injured at the start, and
He
that's why he
started
didn't
off
make the playoffs.
started off
That's
0
why
and 6 or 0 and 7.
0-7, I think. That
Yeah.
is, yeah, him and Harrowball.
Yep. The two
It was a
winless teams.
dogfight.
Yeah, it was a
Dogfight. They both
dogfight.
won the. I think they just won the same week.
Yeah.
There's no undefeated teams left after that week.
Yep. Yep.
14 Barbarians. Barbarians is an
Yeah.
interesting thing because like they literally beat two top five teams, one being the third ranked Abdel Nader Fan Club, who went 14-4, the other being the Butt Pirates, who went 13-1. Two of their wins, and they got 6 wins. Had they lost those games, he lost to all of the other teams below him. He would have had to take the one chip challenge.
Yep.
Which I won't lie. Yeah, he put something to blame on me though with that because I did not tell him that there was a one chip challenge punishment and he had to lock in. And he locked in
Yeah.
against the
He
right
locked in when
opponents
he
to lock in against.
and I remember there was a little bit of collusion there trying to get the Barbarians some trades to beat the Bombers, but they prevailed anyways.
Yeah. But then 15 is the Washington Redskins, which he's lucky he had such a good start, which he had the
Yeah.
flukiest schedule ever.
Flukiest week one win ever.
Flukiest schedule in general,
Yeah,
though. Oh my
easily.
gosh.
He
Easy.
was talking all this crap to us, like all like crazy.
Then he traded Sabonis to me, which I turned Sabonis into like Tatum, Duran, and
Yep.
who else did I turn him into? I forgot.
No. He
Oh,
traded you Siakam. You gave him his bonus, and you got Siakam.
yeah, I traded him Sabonis, and I got Siakam and all these other people in the package.
Yep.
Clark,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Milwaukee Clarkson,
Yeah.
Kobe White, all of them.
Yeah,
But
amazing.
yeah,
Amazing
it
blunder
was
by
a
them.
fleece.
Yeah, absolute fleece. Absolute fleece. He wanted Sabonis. He saw the white superstar, said, I need him.
That's what he said, and he got him all right.
Yeah.
Then Laheni was 16, which that team might have been the worst roster I've ever seen drafted. Every
Absolutely.
single draft pick, even the Dennis Schroeder pick that looked like it was an all right pick for the time,
Terrible.
they were all bust.
No,
Like,
it was like
I've
every
never
pick
seen
was
a
worse than the
draft.
last.
I've never seen a draft that was so bad, but Laheni climbed
Turned it
up to
around.
11-7 and was the fifth best record in the league, a top five team. And
Finishing round through
obviously,
trade.
there's a big gap between like the top four, the top, and the fifth ranked team, but like still, just the
I
fact
would
that
say
he
there's a
took that
clear top
at-
four. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, clear top four.
but the fact that he took that really bad lineup and turned it into a just pretty elite lineup is just amazing. So I think we were trading to him like he was like it was his like last day on earth or something, and like
Absolutely,
a
yeah.
Make-A-Wish kid. Like
A
we
Make-A-Wish
were
program,
trading to him like it was like
Give him
and-
anyone who wanted.
let's just like put this in the air though. When he was that bad, all these managers, including you, Bronx Bombers, you allowed all these trades to go through the week I played him, and I still prevailed against him. And
Hey,
they were some like it was
I've done good
Jalen
trades.
Johnson for Michael Porter Jr. and like and then like what Kevin Durant for
It's a cat.
no, like
He got cat. He definitely got cat.
wait,
I think it was KD for cat. It was KD. No, because
no,
LDS had
KD
cat.
for I think it's KD and Dante DiVincenzo or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Dante and KD for like cat. And
Oh,
like
he
another
he
bad
gave
player.
up. Yeah, Dante and KD for Cat.
Yeah, crazy. And I mean, hey, he ended up being 11-7. Good for him. I still think Bombers are better than him.
I
I'll
think
just put
they're
it out
equal.
there. I think
they're
Bombers are
equal.
better. He had a fluky kind of schedule. I mean, look, if you play in the West, you get to play Kevin's top notch team and Ladonis before they became good. I'm sorry, it's a fluke schedule.
But when you
That's 2
play
free
in
wins.
the East, you have all these teams that aren't even over 500. You have two teams over 500.
Yeah, because it's a dogfight every week because we're all good teams except for I Know Ball.
I'd say the West has some good teams, but
You have
let's
good
just
teams, but you have free wins.
Yeah, but when we look back though at the previous weeks though, because now we're out of pre-draft, post-draft,
Yeah.
but Laheni was ranked like 4 places out of last place.
Hmm.
And with the playoffs, I mean, from the very start, we really didn't have really had a set playoffs, really. I mean, Redskins was in there for a while in the Elite Eight because
Yeah.
they did beat the Bombers, but
Hmm.
most of the teams who were in the Elite Eight made the playoffs.
Yeah. What's the Elite Eight from week one?
Week one was the Finnegans, the Abdel Nader fan club. This is week two, but week one
Oh, yeah,
was
week
just
two. Yeah, that's a
week two is a
preseason. Yeah.
better like sample,
Yeah,
but
week two.
Finnegans fan club, Butt Pirates three, then Amir four, then Southbury, Bronx Bombers, Scotty's Hotties, but then it was Washington Redskins.
Damn. That's pretty much the playoff, except for you just replaced
That's
Redskins with Laheni, who no
yeah,
one saw
Laheni,
coming.
who no one saw coming too.
No one saw them coming. No one at all. I mean, yeah, those were pretty much the clear teams from the start that were like, okay, they're going to be competing. And I mean, for a
But no
while
one
there was
really,
a fight between James second place, Bombers, Redskins, Mayo, and Ladonis. We were all fighting for that last seed until uh, James and um, Redskins fell off, and then we just had the Ladonis, Southbury, and Mayo all fighting for that last spot, those last three spots.
heck, even Barbarians, after he beat the fan club and Butt Pirates, they had
Yeah,
a chance. This was
they
the
had a
most
chance.
competitive fantasy playoff race I've seen in my life because
Absolutely, yeah,
I've never seen so many teams with similar records and
yeah.
going against each other play.
Oh yeah, by the end of the by like halfway through the year, no one knew who was gonna make playoffs outside of like the top four.
Outside, yeah, the top four. I mean, even Laheni, he was up for grabs too.
Yeah,
Scotty's
Laheni wasn't
Hotties was
there
up for
yet.
grabs.
Yeah, Scotty's, Laheni, they weren't there yet. Bombers at the time looked like the lock because they were doing good, and then they started falling off. They had a little
Yeah, then
rough
they
stretch.
fell off. It was like they had to win. They had to win out, or they were out, and they
And I
won
did.
out.
Hey, we did. We were 6-9. Said we need to win the next three if we're going to make the playoffs, and we won the next three,
And
including
it was
a.
because a Finnegan win, and the Finnegans have some beef with the Bombers from last year, as the Bombers beat them in the playoffs last
We
year.
did. We did
It
beat
was a
them.
complete blunder. We own up to our mistakes. We
I mean, what do you expect when Shea's your best player?
well, Shea was the best player in all fantasy,
You,
but
you can't win with Shea.
well, I we proved this year when Shea requested a trade from James second place and said he only wants to go to the Finland Finnegans. We made it done, and we had him come into Finland, and we've only lost 2 games this season, 16-2 record.
Hey, you had
So
a
it
good
proves
record
he's a
last year.
winner.
You were the 2 seed last year, first seed in the
Yeah,
West,
15 and
and you
3.
still
I
blundered.
also
Still
yeah,
blundered.
but still, I mean,
Hey, I mean, I
anyways.
guess we'll see next round. I feel like me and you are both favored to win our matchup so far. I mean, me and Fan Club could go either way, but I think I'm still favored.
Well, I think I'm just a clear favorite against Scotty's Hotties. I don't
I
think
don't know.
Scotty's has really
Scotty's is
any
locking
chance
in.
against us.
Scotty's is locked in
Scotty's
now.
could lock in all he wants, but that team is just nowhere near as good as mine. But then
We'll
again,
see.
Tatum and Getty being injured right now, they haven't really played anything for me yet, but I still have the lead regardless.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it comes by the end of the week. It's a two big long dog fight. We'll see.
Yep. So then let's go to the last week AP rankings.
Yeah, the final.
LeBron's dog poopy at number one. And that's only because of them beating me pre my new team, by the
Yeah.
way.
Hey, win's a win.
Then Finland Finnegans, number two, both have the same record, tied for the best record in the league, but still yet to capture the President's Trophy
Yeah.
for the Finnegans, sadly.
Finnegan's ended up being the 3 seed though because of conference rules.
Conference rules, well, just like last time, I was a 2 seed in the West when I was 10-8, won it all, by the way, with the 10 and 8
That
record.
was the Mickey Mouse years. Those are the Mickey
I don't
Mouse
think it
years.
was the Mickey Mouse years because I was the one who was the most injured. I had to rely on Trey Murphy, Tyus Jones, and then Kyrie, fresh off his anti-Semitic and anti-vax vaccine arc.
I mean, you played against Southbury in the finals, who's probably the biggest choker in league history. So like,
Yeah, but I like all you guys are saying, Southbury is going to kill me, but then
well, that was before we
look
knew
what
you were the
happened.
choker.
It was the most,
That was the start of the choker arc
but it was the most lopsided fantasy finals I've probably
ever.
seen in my life because it was an
Yeah,
800-point blowout, and it's not like he didn't check his team. He
he was
used more
trying.
matchup. I had 15 of 17 used. He had 17 of 17 matchup acquisition used. Still lost by 800. It was like 28-36 to 2000 something.
No, it
Or
was a blowout.
2000. It was a massive blowout, which
It was an embarrassment.
Southbury, it just stained his franchise. And ever since that loss, they have not been the same.
Absolutely
They're
not. They
yet
missed
to
the
go over
playoffs.
500. They
They
missed
missed
the
the playoffs the
playoffs,
next year, and then this year
and
they
they are
made it
yet to
under
go over
500.
500, and they're still
Pretty
under
good.
500 in the playoffs.
I mean that finals was terrible for the league ratings. Like, I mean, we lost so much viewership from that finals. Like, as the finals went on, it was real bad.
The 10-8 Finnegans, I mean, led by Trey Murphy, which outscored probably prime Kyrie Irving. Like, honestly, I've never seen a fantasy prime of Kyrie Irving ever until that round, just to get overshadowed by rookie Trey Murphy,
Crazy.
who
No, it was a
outscored
crazy
him by
run.
4 points, and he won the MVP. I mean, fantasy
Crazy run.
playoffs. He knew there's a player that had to take a step up because the Finnegans are losing a lot of their star talent on the team. They lost three of their top five picks until DeMar DeRozan came back for like the last week. And then LaMelo Ball, their first ever pick, the fourth pick in the draft, literally like
He's
scored
out.
like 24. He played 4 games and averaged like 30,
Mhm.
scoring like 24 like for most of the games. And yeah, he was out for the season
Yeah.
pretty much.
Out for the season. Terrible. Terrible. The
Kyrie
blunder
was
for the team.
opposite. I mean, Kyrie came back like a little over half. Well, like I wouldn't even say it was much over halfway because it was like the last few weeks of the season.
Was that the
Which
COVID year?
that was the COVID year. That was like
Yeah.
the anti-vaccine when he did
Yeah,
not
the
want to take the
anti-vax year.
vaccine. And then he
Yeah.
also got suspended for his comments on Jewish people.
Yep. That unfortunate.
It was just
unfortunate.
back to back. He decided to like do both of them back to back, and he almost ruined the Finnegan season.
Yeah.
And we started out 3-6 and had to finish 10-8. And he wasn't even there for half the games we had to play. Had he been there, I think we could have maybe won out, but we
Possibly.
didn't have Trey
It was
Murphy or
close.
Tyus Jones yet. But yeah, 10-8 Finnegans. No one really saw us coming.
No, I
But
mean,
I
no
saw
one
us
saw you
coming.
coming. Who was the playoff MVP the year prior when you won the first time?
My playoff MVP, I'd honestly have to say Kyrie Irving. He did
Kyrie
pretty
Irving.
well.
That first year, and then
But
Trey Murphy.
and Trey Murphy the second year. But Tyrese Maxey did pretty good as well that year. He was
I
a,
mean,
I think he's a
yeah,
rookie that year.
yeah, he was a rookie. I remember you had that squad. It was Kyrie, Maxey, and Murphy. Or no, Kyrie, Maxey, and there was like another guy. Your first year.
Well,
That
we
was
had Shea that first year, but he
yeah.
wasn't
Shea
averaging
was
as
Shea.
much.
Shea was like mid as hell that year.
He wasn't mid, but like he wasn't averaging as much as he does now.
Yeah, I mean now it's like he's like a Trojan horse where it's like
We also had Jonas Valanciunas, and Jonas
Val.
Valanciunas was pretty good for us.
Yeah, Val was good that year. Val was good that year.
He was like a top 5 center in fantasy.
Ooh, I got breaking news.
Breaking news.
Who has Paul George in our league right now?
Well, Ladonis.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Well,
he's
I
out
see.
tonight. I thought he was on Southbury still. I was gonna say he's out.
That would be another blow because look at this. Kyrie Irving decides to get injured for the rest of the year for an
Yeah.
ACL.
He tore his ACL. I mean, yeah. So
I
start
think
the
there's
playoffs, plays one game.
minus. I'm gonna say Amir is minus like 1850 right now because
Gotta
that
be.
was like.
I mean, if he loses,
Southbury traded their whole team away to win one game. They still lost that game.
I mean, what we gotta say though, what you have to say about it though, is when it comes to narratives, if Amir wins, if Amir loses this game to Southbury, I mean, we have to give the title of biggest choker to him and absolve Southbury of that title.
Yeah, and let's just look at the ranking some more. So 3 is Fan Club, 14-4, then 13-4-1. Bud Pirates are the number 4, which I will
They
put
could
them
beat.
there. I
They
think
could
it's
beat the
like
teams above them.
they're interchangeable.
Yeah, they could beat the teams above them any
They
given night.
can, especially after that Southbury trade where he gave up
Oh yeah,
all of his like great talent that really has just all this upside for low upside on the downturn guys
Mhm.
just to win. Which what he was doing was he was trading his players away for players that are playing that day. And I was trying to say, dude, you're gonna screw your playoff chances up. You have a pretty
Yeah.
good team going on. You could probably beat me.
Well,
He
to
said,
keep in mind
nah.
though, you have to keep in mind though, if you look back at that matchup, if he had lost that matchup, he wasn't even going to make the playoffs. He was going to be one extra game behind everyone else.
Yeah,
That
but he
would have
still
been-
made the playoffs and he lost.
Yeah, well, because he ended up losing. But I mean, at the time when you're thinking about it, you're like, I have to win now because if he doesn't win then, he's screwed.
You could say that, but
Absolutely
I
screwed.
still feel though, Southbury like traded and now we got rid of forced trades because of that fiasco.
Yeah,
Because
it was a
like
big
it's
fiasco, big
you're just-
controversy.
it'd be kind of a stain on the league to allow it because
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, before we weren't doing that. It was like before
there's no
you
one
make a
even
trade.
thought of doing that, you know?
Yeah, you just make a trade like you push it whenever you want it. Like, oh, cool,
yeah,
you want
push
it right
whatever you
now,
want,
do
but
it.
like
But now people are
you're not going to trade to like make your team worse and then
yeah,
just so you
to
can
get a
have
bunch of good
guys that are
players.
Yeah, just so you got guys for the play, like for your
Stack your
last day of
roster.
play, even though you're losing.
Yeah, like stack the deck the final day, and then you're screwing your team over, and you're also just screwing over other people. Like no one wants to do that. That's not fair. Like no one
Yeah,
wants to
that's
see
not
that in our
fair.
league.
Unethical
Like
trades.
unethical,
But
absolutely unethical.
yep. Then Laheny was 5, which yeah, he beat Fan Club the last week. He has had his number, but it
Yeah,
was a pretty close match.
he does have his number. It was a close. Yeah, it was a very close match. Very close match. And
It
then
was not
it's
really too close until the final day where Fan Club made the comeback, but he still it
that's the
was to
scary
no
part
avail.
about fan club. His team could go off at any moment. You think you got him where you want him, and then it's over.
And 6 of Scotty's hotties, which I would probably put
I'd
besides
be over them.
Southbury Bombers over them, but still
Yeah,
they got 6 in the playoffs.
yeah, because of
They did have the tiebreaker over
he had a
the
tiebreaker over
Bombers.
us. That was during our dark ages because our whole roster was hurt. Our whole roster was underperforming. Ended up turning it up after that.
Yep. Then we have the Bombers, which they're looking pretty well. I mean, they beat Amir the last week.
I mean, you gotta be honest. Out of all like the bottom three teams that are left like there in the playoffs, like the three that got seeded at the last week, you gotta say that the Bombers are the team that you want to face the least
They are the team you
in
want
the
to face
first
the
round.
least. When I saw I had Scotty's hotties in the schedule, we were just we were going crazy in
I mean,
Finnegan's
yeah,
headquarters. We had a watch party actually because we were just beating the Redskins so bad. We decided to take a day off the last day, and we had a
yeah,
watch party in the Finnegan Stadium. And we were like, once we saw Scotty's hotties beat Mayo Madam, it was just a lot of clapping because
yeah.
we know what we could do against these teams. I mean, we played the doorknobs
The
the
doorknobs.
season one, and we beat them. It was relatively close. It wasn't so close, but it was like a good
Yeah,
matchup.
they put up a fight for where they were.
For what they were, they put up a fight.
Yeah,
But then number 8 is Southbury, which right now Southbury might be one of the worst playoff teams I've seen in history.
I mean, especially without Kyrie, yeah,
I'd
it's
say the
over.
doorknobs were better than them.
We gotta look at Team Coco, Team McFerrin though.
Team Coco and Team McFerrin were pretty bad though, but no
Those are
more
stains on the
Kyrie.
league.
There's a lot of injuries plagued this team, and then that trade they did on the Ladanis week really has came back to bite them,
It
especially
did
after
bite
that.
him.
And Toby White is performing phenomenally.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blunder for him, but he had to do what he had to do, you know.
Yeah, he had to do what he had to do, but
But I mean, now it's
that
banned.
forced
We
the rule
passed
change.
passed the new legislation. Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, a little bit of
And
lore about the Bombers though. The Bombers, we wanted Scotty's to lose. We wanted you round one.
well, yeah, but like you would lose round one easily.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking on that side of the bracket, you're by far the best team. I want to get you out of the way fast because I know I'm going to have to face you regardless. So I'm like, fight Finnegan's round one, and then we'll
Yeah,
take what we can in round two.
While Tatum and Giddy are just injured.
Yeah.
You just
Well, that's
want
what I
us
say.
round
Take him
one.
early. Take him out early. Well, Tyrese is playing at his best, while Chet's playing pretty well, even though he's injured now. But Chet was playing very well going into the playoffs. That's what we needed.
Then Ladonis Creed in the last week. I mean, he went from one of the worst to, a 9 seed. But obviously we have Mayo Madam over it. But yeah, they're scoring really well this week, Ladonis. I mean, let's pull his stats up. He has 585. That's better than most teams right now, besides well, Southbury is 591. Finnegan's have 588, which is only 3 more.
Yeah.
Then Laheny and Bub Pirates have more as well, as they're
Mm-hmm.
628 and 655, but they don't have too many players playing that night tonight.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's outscoring everyone in the playoffs.
Hey, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, it sucks, but he auto drafted his team, so he gets what he deserves. You reap what you sow.
No, yeah.
It's on. I mean, it's on the manager. I mean, he could have drafted his team, and he knew when the draft was, and he ended up auto drafting. And what does he get? He gets a bunch of injured players on his team, and he has to trade to get better.
Nope, that is true.
It's just
I mean,
unfortunate.
yeah, but now it's like let's just move into predictions because we just gave the Elite Eight. We don't really have to get into like all the
Yeah.
rest of the teams like
Yeah. Yeah.
Barbarians, James. I mean, James second place really had a strong showing. They have a
Yeah.
really good team, actually. They have a really good roster. He just
Yeah.
stopped checking.
Stop
His
checking.
desire for the game.
He got a big internship at Disney World, so he had to lock in for that. I mean, respect to him, making his money, but
Yeah.
the game
You
comes
think he'd
first.
be pulling strings, because Disney
Yeah,
owns
Disney owns
ESPN. You think
ESPN.
he
He could have hacked. He could have hacked us.
could have hacked us. He could have made his team the best.
I mean, that's respect to him, though. I mean, he's an honorable guy. Respect to James.
Yep.
Well, anyways, predictions for playoffs. What are you thinking?
Playoffs. So round one, we're gonna go to let's see round one. So Southbury
Round
versus
one.
LeBron
It's
Dog
LDS.
movie.
LDS for sure.
LDS.
LDS.
LDS
easily.
is going to easily win that.
Like that's one of those things that's the game that gets put onto ESPN too. Like we don't care. That's an easy win.
Laheni
That
versus Buck
yeah.
Pirates.
Anyways, that's probably the prime time. That's probably the closest matchup we have. Maybe between them and the Bombers game, the two closest matchups. But that's a really good matchup. Prime time game. I got Butt Pirates personally, but it's very close. Probably like Butt Pirates minus 110.
I don't know. I mean, I think if their injuries persist, I'm going to take Laheni plus 105.
Plus 105. Okay. Respect,
Scotty's versus
respect.
Finnegan's.
I mean, Finnegan's got to be favored in it, but Scotty's can make an upset. I think. I mean, the line for Scotty's is what? It's plus 380.
It's plus 380.
I mean that just feels like moneymaker right there.
Yeah, but minus 350 Finnegan's only, it's going to go up. And I think the Scotty's Hotties odds are going to go up to, like, are just going to, like, keep getting, like, plus 1,000. And by the end of it, it's going to be, like, plus 2,000.
I mean, it feels like it's just a good solid investment. I mean, I think I got to take Scotty's at plus 380
right now. But if you see, like, the matchup today, I mean, Finnegan's have
We'll see.
so much more players playing
Hey,
tonight.
it's a marathon, not a sprint. You can have one bad day, but then next day you come back and the other team is way better.
However, it could be bad if OG and LeBron play, but Giddey and Tatum sit.
That would be great for them. That would really be great for them. They make me a lot of money, hopefully. So yeah, I think I probably put about $100 on them at plus 380.
Then Gobert, what is Gobert doing? He's been sitting out for the past few weeks, past like week or two.
Damn. Yeah, I mean
I
Gobert. I
think
mean,
he's going on.
what do you expect with Gobert? I mean Gobert. I mean, when you get Gobert in fantasy, you get what you deserve. You know what I mean? Like
He's doing pretty well for them, but you know. And then let's see the next matchup. We got Bombers versus Fan Club.
I mean, that's got to be another primetime matchup, right?
It's another one.
It's very close right now. 7 seed upsetting the 2 seed. I mean, that could shake up the league for years. This
It
could be.
could.
I mean, if Fan Club loses now, like who knows when they'll be back in the playoffs? Who knows when they'll have this chance again?
Yeah, this is very like unexpected.
Having the chance to be the first ever rookie champion of the league.
Yep.
I mean,
All right,
there's a lot of
next
pressure
round.
on them.
So next round, so you had Bombers upsetting?
Yeah, I got Bombers upset. Scotty's upset.
Well,
You already know
mine's
who's winning
is
that one.
Finnegan's versus Fan Club.
I mean, I'm personally gonna take Bombers against Scotty's. So, I mean, that's gotta be Bombers. What like minus
I
250?
gotta take Finnegan's over Fan Club, which is pretty even odds. I mean, they had a very close one in the start of the season. I mean, there's a lot of injuries on the Finnegan side though, but
I'll take
there
Finnegan's on that one.
is a close one. Finnegan's versus Fan Club. Then
Yep.
let's see the next one. That'd be for me. It's Laheni
And I got
versus
Butt
LDS.
Pirates. I got Butt Pirates LDS. Regardless, I think we're both gonna have the same answer. I'm gonna take LDS on that one.
I'm taking LDS on that one too. They'd be minus probably 175. I mean, I think they're a pretty good favorite in that one. Maybe minus 250.
LDS, yeah, I think LDS. I put it like 150 minus 150. I mean, they had a close matchup the previous time, and then they're both very even match teams, same exact record, 1 seed, 2 seed, or 1 seed, 3 seed technically, but top 2 teams in the league for sure. I would take LDS on that one.
I'd say Finnegan's are the best, but then Finnegan's over Fan Club. So mine's is Finnegan's versus LDS, which
Yeah,
is
mine is. Yeah,
these are the two teams with the biggest odds to make it to the championship, and the two teams who I have facing off in the championship. So nothing really crazy.
yeah. I mean, I would
So yours
personally
is-
take. I mean, mine is gonna be LDS versus Bombers, and I mean, LDS got to be favored, but we saw what happened last time we faced, so I'm gonna take Bombers in that one.
And I'm going to take Finnegan's in that one, get the revenge they really wanted and needed because the Finnegans, they faced him during like the Bob Cousy Finnegans, the De'Aaron Fox led Finnegans, you know?
De'Aaron Fox is better than Shea.
Nope. Shea's literally averaging 60 and only guard to do so.
I mean, you traded what?
The
You
next
traded
guard,
Shea.
the only thing I really regret of that is giving up Drew
I heart.
over Amon Thompson, which I could have just gave up Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ihart, he was not supposed to come back the next day.
He came back real
There's
fast.
nothing indicating that. Nothing indicating
Came
that
back
at
real
all.
fast.
Came back literally the day after. When I
It was
say
the
the
day
day
after, I
after,
remember
it was
that.
literally the night after. He just comes back. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you didn't think he'd be that good, and he ended up being great until Chet came back. Which
I knew he was going to be that good actually, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather have Valanciunas right now. I didn't really see his minutes, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I just think that I do get to upgrade my team like just for the time being, and Valanciunas is pretty good and probably comparable to Ihart.
Yeah,
Because I've had
absolutely.
Valanciunas on both my teams before, and he's done phenomenal.
Mhm.
For some reason, this season, he just gets like 10 minutes a game and then probably scores like 24. It's ridiculous.
No, absolutely ridiculous.
They're doing him dirty, and I think
I
that if was given a starting role, I think he would be a pretty good starting center in the league.
Yeah. No, he would be. I mean, he'd be good. It's just he's at a point in his career where he's not good enough to be a contending starting center, but he doesn't want to be on the bench, so he's playing on these terrible teams.
Yeah, but like here's the thing. I do think that like Valanciunas, like he has shown in all the games he started in, he's a very solid contributor.
No, he can contribute for sure. Absolutely.
It's just the teams he's on. I mean, he's on Sacramento now, right?
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, is he? I know
Backupping
he was on the Wizards. He's on the Wizards,
Sabonis.
but I think he got moved. He got moved.
He got moved to Sacramento, but he was on the
Yeah, Sac.
Wizards. He was benched. He was on the bench for their rookie, which is just a blatant just
Yeah, I mean,
get the
Kings
rookie
are.
some minutes,
It's a
make him
Kings moment.
progress. But yeah, I mean, my prediction is a Finnegan's LDS and Finnegan's get their revenge from their regular season loss, which they wanted revenge so badly. They
I mean, of course,
wanted
yeah.
they wanted the second matchup against them, but they weren't granted it because the deadline to make the matchups was that day.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, you already know the Bombers. I got Bombers over LDS in the finals. It'll be a close one, but I mean, we beat them last time. We dominated them last time. Actually, great showing from the
And it
Bombers.
looks like if the Finnegans played LDS last week, the Finnegans would have beat them.
Mhm.
And Finnegans didn't even check their team at all.
Yeah. No, I
Besides
mean,
the one picking up Gershon Yabusele once Embiid was out. And that's the only matchup acquisition they did.
as someone who has Yabusele, who had Yabusele during his prime, you're gonna regret it.
I think it's primes right now. I mean, no more Embiid means that's a guaranteed starting role.
We had him when he was the starter when Embiid was out. I mean, he was great. He gives you some good games, but he gives you some terrible games.
I just feel like if they shut down Paul George, if they shut down a lot of players on that team because they want to like tank, Yabusele will be the guy they'll rely on.
We'll see. We'll have to see about that. We'll have to see about that.
The overseas star from France who showed out in the Olympics.
I'll be waiting until you drop him. I'll have to do a little victory lap in the group chat.
But yeah, I mean the
But
Finnegan's are
anyways,
just waiting for
I got Bombers. You got Finnegan's winning the whole
Finnegans.
championship. Well,
So
why don't
pretty
we?
much our teams.
Yeah, why don't we do a little bit of history though in the league? Like, why don't we go like top five franchises in league history
All right.
over the course
I'm
of it?
gonna have to say number one is Finnegan's being the back-to-back champs.
I mean, I think 1 and 2 have to be Finnegan's Butt Pirates, right? Only two champions Champions League history. After that, you can start debating.
Well, do we really have to say the Butt Pirates are the two champions because they won during the
Well, no, I said
Boozy
no. Like
times.
they're the only two teams to ever win a championship
Yeah,
ever. So
I
I would
mean-
put you. I put you one, him two, because you got the back to back, only back to back in history, and then the Butt Pirates they won last year in dominant fashion. So
that's true. But
I mean,
Finnegan's,
after that, you can make some arguments, but Finnegan's got to be one for now. Until maybe after this playoffs, if Butt Pirates repeat, then it's gonna have to be a conversation.
there's gonna have to be a conversation to be made.
Yeah, absolutely have to be a conversation. We'll have to see, but I mean, it's definitely possible.
And
Especially
number
because
three,
yeah.
I'm gonna
I mean-
have to say maybe the Bombers because they've been
I would say Bombers.
consistent.
Been to the finals, never missed the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
I think Bombers are
probably
most
take it.
consistent. And then after that, I mean, I think there's a couple. You can say Southbury for their dominant performance that his first ever year. James, who made it to the finals his first year. I mean, LDS just based off of this year alone, having one of the best seasons of all time almost until they lost in the final hour.
I'm gonna have to say LDS, and then I'm gonna have to say James second place.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait, maybe
I put Southbury over James.
Southbury just because they have one more win than them in the finals year.
Yeah, and also James. I mean, he hasn't made the playoffs since he made the playoffs one time his first round exit. At least
That
Southbury
is
made the
true.
finals.
Southbury
and then-
has he has two playoff appearances.
Mhm.
But yeah, now that's pretty much all we have today.
Yeah.
And it was great talking to you, Dan. I mean, it was
Hey,
a
thanks
great
for having me.
podcast. But yeah.
I mean, it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. We talked about the league history and the league itself. And thank
Yeah.
everyone for tuning in. See you next week
See ya.
on the Rep Talk podcast.